Well, good morning, Dirtfish friends. Friday morning here at Rally Japan, and my goodness me, the heavens have opened up. We've had some really heavy rain over the last 2 or 3 hours, and it's continuing to come down. What do we have today? 7 stages, little super special to end the day. 6 proper stages, 133 kilometres. Scotty, this is going to be difficult in this weather.
Yeah, and I'd say that's an understatement.
What are you hearing about the conditions in the stages?
Well, like this. Probably cleaner than Recce, because it was quite polluted, like with a lot of leaves, but the organisers did clean it. But I think with all this rain and maybe some wind overnight, it's going to be a lot of pine needles around.
You've got a lot of work to do, mate. Don't let me distract you. There we are. That's the issue. There were a lot of leaves, pine needles. The boys found that on shakedown yesterday. Really slippy on those pine needles out there in the forest. Have a look around, Elliot. Just look at where we're at. You know, we're up in the hills, really steep valleys, steep mountains. There's a lot of rain coming down. Maybe running water coming off the hills as well. Really important this morning that the information from the route note crews is accurate. But, you know, it's difficult. They went through an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. And conditions change when the weather comes as heavily and as quickly as this. Conditions clearly change very quickly. The issue is standing water running across the roads. Maybe some areas where look at the leaf mulch, all this leaf mulch gets washed out onto the roads. It is going to be an enormously testing morning. Wet weather tyres all round for our drivers. Let's see if we can find anyone else a little bit further up the hill. Kalle Rovanperä just missed him. He's headed up into the stage. That's in fact Esa-Pekka Lappi-Katsuta making his way a little bit closer towards the start of the stage. Actually, he's just stopping there. We'll grab him in a minute or two. It is all rather busy, as you would expect, particularly with these conditions. Really important, as I mentioned earlier on, the safety crew notes, just making sure that they're on top of the changes that have been made to the notes before they go through. These conditions are going to be remarkably challenging for everyone this morning. Wet compounds all around all of our cars this morning. That's to be expected. All the way up from Toyota City, it was, you know, we were splashing through the puddles, a lot of standing water on the main roads. As we get up into these mountains, there are some really steep ascents, descents. There are dips where the water gathers. It is going to be a really fascinating morning for our crews out there. You can see how busy they're all working as well. We'll give them a second or two. Martin just checking his watch. They're about 2 Ks, I reckon, from the start here. So they've got a little way to go before they get up to the start of the stage. Elvin just trying to get a little bit of heat into those brakes, into those tyres. It is a little more tricky, obviously, when it's cool and wet like this. We've seen it in the past, haven't we, with so many leaves around, the leaves blocking the radiator intakes. Teams have more or less taken care of that now, though. Now. Throw it here, he's dropped something in there. Is it something to do with the intercom? Or it wouldn't be a glove. We'll keep out their way. We don't really want to cause any more grief here. Maybe grab a very quick word with Oit while we let these boys find whatever it is they've dropped. Let's see if we can grab a quick word with Oit this morning. Oh, dearie me, it is going to be challenging. Still my favourite livery, I'd have to say this on the Puma. Really does look remarkable. Lots of autographs. It's great to see the fans out and about. Oit, very good morning to you. Goodness me, this weather is going to make things really challenging out there for everyone this morning. What are you hearing from the crews that have been through about the conditions in the stage?
Wet.
Are you worried about the messiness at all, about maybe these leaves and the pine needles?
Can't change anything, so it is like it is.
What is the approach then this morning, Oit? Mentally, how do you approach this stage? Because I guess there has to be a little bit of caution there.
We will find out. Yeah, don't know how bad it will be, so we will see.
Well, best of luck out there, Oit Tanak. There we are. Focused as always, Oit Tanak. Last event in the focus. Focused in the focus. Here we go. Puma, sorry. Focused in the focus, but that would have been 10 years ago. Right. Danny Sordo, what can he do? Sordo is a man who drives on confidence. He's not a man who likes changeable conditions. So it's all wet. I think Sordo could do well. If the conditions start to dry out and it becomes a little bit unpredictable, a little bit changeable, Danny's not so comfortable in those conditions. Let's just have a quick word with Thierry. Thierry, everything okay? We saw you having a look around the car. You found what you were looking for. Everything
Sure.
good. Biggest challenge this morning, what's it going to be?
The weather, the conditions. To stay on the road.
Yeah, we saw last year, obviously, when that rain came down on Sunday, just how slippery it was out here. At least you've got that experience, I suppose, of these conditions.
No, it will be much worse this year.
Oh, I'm going to leave him to it. You can tell there's a tenseness that we don't often see in the mind. Thank you very much, Thierry. Appreciate your time as always. There's a tenseness, isn't there? Drivers, I think, quite apprehensive. Apart from this man. This man looks as relaxed as you like. Just saying, Danny, it must be for you guys. The apprehension, is that, would you understand that word? It's the tense feeling in the stomach with these conditions. It must be quite difficult.
Yeah, for sure. The people, the driver, they say they don't have this before. They lie because anyway, I think always before the start you are like this tension, like you feel, and also with this condition even more. So after like many years, you still feeling this. The day you don't feel this is like something wrong, you know.
You need to go home, don't you? What have you heard from your safety crew? Anything in particular that you're looking out for this morning?
Yeah, but my gravel crew, they passed a little bit earlier to see how is the complete the 3 stages. But yeah, they say like it's 30 and with the leaves it will be very slippery, but we know this, so it will be not easy.
It's all about experience this morning, Danny. No one has got more experience than you. Best of luck. How great would it be to see Danny Sordo having a really strong event here this weekend? I think he will. You know, he's probably the most experienced driver. 20 years nearly he's been driving at the very top level. Let's see how Danny gets on. There we are. A very brief word with Oit. Very brief word with Thierry. Who else have we got? Takasan, what are you saying? Head up the hill a little bit? Yeah, let's get back in the car again and see who else we can find. Yeah, you can see how much water is coming down the hillside. We were here 2 days ago and that was a trickle in that little brook there. It's building and it will build the amount of water throughout the morning. I don't think we can overestimate just how difficult, underestimate, overestimate. I don't think we can state just how difficult it's going to be out here this morning. There are factors, okay, they've all driven in heavy rain, they've all driven in wet conditions. Not here in Japan so much. As Thierry Neuville said, it'll be worse than that rain we saw yesterday. When you combine the rain, the standing water, with the leaves, with the pine needles, with the slippery, slimy surface that is there anyway, you're under the trees in dry conditions and it's slippery and slimy. You add in this heavy rain, standing water, perhaps water running across the stage as well in places, and it becomes enormously challenging out there. Vincent just checking the tyre pressures. Seb staying in the car, who can blame him? Who can blame Seb for staying in the car? You know, when we talk about water running across the stage, you can see an example of it just down there on the road, can't you? The way the water comes down the side of the left and then it goes across the road. There's not a lot of water there, but in places where it's narrower, where it's a bit steeper, where the water's channeled down the side of the road and then it comes across the road, aquaplaning becomes an issue. If you come across those kind of conditions where you're braking, it can be really tricky, it can be really testing indeed. Let's have a quick look at these tyres here. Let's look at let's go around this other side here where there's a bit more light. We won't touch them, but it'll just give you a better idea of the tread, and the tread obviously designed to move the water, to allow the maximum contact area between the rubber and the road itself. So, you know, in terms of pushing the water away, if you get a slow-mo shot of these cars in heavy rain, you can actually almost see the way that tread works, the way it throws the water aside and creates that almost, I wouldn't call it a dry patch for contact, but it certainly creates a lot more grip than we would see Otherwise, Seb just taking his time. Let's just leave Seb to it. He's just getting himself together. You know, today is all about experience, and there is no more experienced man. Danny Sordo has got enormous experience, but this man is perhaps the man that a lot of people will have their money on this morning, because when it comes to challenging conditions, when it comes to having to use your brain, your experience, there is no better man than Seb Ogier. He's in the right cars. The car set up well for him. We'll find out very, very shortly indeed. But my money is on Ogier leading at the end of today. Still think punting towards maybe Neuville for the rally win, but I think Seb could be the man who could really take advantage of these conditions. We've talked about it before as well. What is the optimum road position when the weather's like this on tarmac? It probably isn't first on the roads. Not in this rally. Maybe it would be. You go to somewhere, say for example, Ypres, where there's big cuts, where the mud gets pulled out. It doesn't matter what the weather is, you want to be first on the road there. There aren't so many cuts here. There's not so much mud here. But what the first car, second car will come across, a lot of leaves on the road, potentially a lot of standing water. They are effectively cleaning the first, second, third car. It could be that the fourth car, fifth car on the road, Sebastian Ogier, where is he? Sixth on the road, I think seventh, something like that. Could be a really strong position for him out there this morning. We'll find out, I am sure. So, normally we like to get a little bit of a light-hearted word with our drivers in the morning, but you can sense it, can't you? You can feel the tension. I don't want to interrupt the business. These boys are geez, hello. That's precision parking. That is a piece of precision parking by Andreas Mikkelsen. Andreas, you couldn't have got much closer there, could you?
Yeah, I'm putting the pressure on Danny. It's raining, so engine has nothing to say today.
It's going to be tough for these boys. What's it going to be like for you guys? It's the same challenge out there, isn't it? Just a little more difficult for you.
Yeah, like we don't know how the conditions are, so we have no gravel crews again, so it's going to be terrible.
You've absolutely no idea. Can you speak to maybe some of the other guys in the Rally 1 cars and get a feeling for what might be tricky, might be difficult?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I heard is that it's full of leaves everywhere, and so, I mean, for us, we just have to dry on what you see. That's it.
What is your approach this weekend? Because the pressure's off. You did the business. You did the JOB at the CER the other week. Is this just about going out and enjoying yourself and ending on a high?
Of course, we would like to try to do well, but yeah, I'm also under instructions to finish from the team to get the experience for next year. So we'll try to find a balance, but for sure, I would like to just enjoy the rally. I mean, the championship is done, so it would be nice to go flat out and push. So we'll try to do a little bit of both.
Brave man, you really are, Andreas Mikkelsen. Best of luck, Torstein. Good. Instagram's looking good. What's your Instagram account? What is it?
Rolling.
What's yours?
Torstein Eriksson.
If you're not following this man, fascinating. Follow him on Instagram. Torstein Eriksson. That's how you spell Eriksson. Torstein is a different matter. I'm not sure. Look it up. I'm sure Torstein. Oh, yes! It's a winner for me this morning. It's a winner. There we are, folks. The boys are heading into the opening stage. It is already underway. I've already heard Robin Perra screaming through the mountain passes above us. Keep an eye on all our channels. Obviously, keep an eye on Dirtfish Live Centre. Anything that happens, and I'm guaranteeing you there will be plenty this morning. We will report it. Well, wow. Speedy. Dirtfish Live Centre. Keep an eye out. All the news, all the information. Atmosphere from around the stages with myself, with Elliot, our cameraman, with Holly McRae as well. Have a look on Dirtfish Live Centre. There will be plenty, I'll guarantee you that.